popular app designed to help women feel safer while dating is now facing a privacy nightmare.
The T app confirms that thousands of users' personal photos were leaked online after a massive data breach. So let's bring in Queen City News Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young. And Taylor, we've been talking about data breaches for many years now. You have covered them. This one feels a little bit different because we're talking about people's faces being up there. It's not just numbers and words on a screen.
I mean, whenever a massive data breach like this makes headlines, I mean, think about it. We're usually talking about social security numbers being leaked, people's addresses, locations, or their banking information, all of which is very serious information to be out there. But this one is specifically about people's personal photos. We're talking about selfies that they're posting on this app, as well as women's government-issued ID. So it's really raising multiple concerns here. The number one is how secure are our personal photos on these apps? And second, how can then these photos be used against us if they fall into the wrong hands? And I speak with a cybersecurity expert about both of those topics. But first, about how we got here. So just this past Friday, the T app, which is used by millions of women as a safety vetting network, confirmed it had been hacked. In a statement, T said an estimated 72,000 images were exposed, 13,000 of which were verification selfies or government IDs. It says another 59,000 photos came from public posts, comments, and messages made through the app. T claims no emails or phone numbers were part of the leak, and only users who registered before February of last year were affected. According to reports, the leak was first discovered on 4chan, an anonymous forum where people can post without creating an account. Now, as a result, he says it is securing its systems through a third-party cybersecurity team, which is what we typically see a company do when something like this happens.
So, Taylor, even though let's see, Social Security data, credit card information was not a part of this, why is this breach so alarming?
Yeah, so I just got off the phone with my cybersecurity expert, Chip Florian. He is the CEO of Cyprian IT right here in Charlotte, and he says there are several layers to this. So first of all, whenever we take a photo, we post it on an app or on social media, a photo can say and have a lot of information about us through its metadata. That could be the time and location of where that photo was taken, what kind of device it was taken on, and the identity of the photographer who owns that device. So Chip says, you know, especially in a scenario like this, where this is women who are posting on an app, potentially, you know, truthful or not truthful things about men, I mean, this could lead to identity theft, fraud, harassment, I mean, especially with the rise of AI and deep fakes. So yeah, there's a lot of concerns about, you know, given the nature of what's kind of going on here, that this could be used for reputational damage, again, fraud, and also I think unlike maybe our social security number or our banking information, I mean, we can't change our faces, right? Our faces we use, it's 2025, to open our phones, to open our banking apps. So yeah, there are concerns that there is a lot that these photos can be used for. And keep that in mind for, I mean, this isn't just photos being posted on an app. We all post photos, right, on social media. So there's just growing concerns in general around that.
Well, you can lock a credit card if it's stolen. You can't lock your face,
exactly.
Right? So what are users whose information has been compromised? What are they being told to do? And then what do experts say that people who have been impacted can do?
Yeah, I mean, despite T saying really only images were leaked here, I mean, given everything that we just talked about, cybersecurity experts are really kind of telling women who could be impacted by this to think about freezing your accounts, absolutely think about locking down your social media, making your pages private, and just monitoring your accounts. Anytime there is a leak like this that you could be involved in, I mean, there's no such thing as being too safe or proactive.
All right, so we've had stories, other platforms in the past,
Yeah.
Taylor, that have made headlines. We know one of them, Are We Dating the Same Guy? Facebook group now facing lawsuits. Any potential liability as we look at this one?
So under state law, I mean, platforms like the T app or even Facebook pages, I mean, they are generally shielded from any liability that users post on their sites or their pages. But that is not the case for individual users. So if you are someone who maybe you were caught lying on one of these apps or exaggerating too much, you could potentially face a lawsuit. I mean, that is something that is being discussed right now, and this really only adds another layer of seriousness when it comes to data breaches for apps where women are kind of posting, not just women, I mean any kind of app where you're posting information out there that could then be leaked onto the internet.
Well, yeah, and this is not just corporations being sued, it's people.
Individuals.
Individuals. So, I mean, there's a lot of implications there, and I guess we'll keep an eye on this and see where it goes. Taylor,
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.